So in this video, I'm going to show you how I integrated social pay into my WordPress website. Now, if you're coming from one of my other videos where I either would have mentioned social pay or I would have showed you how to sign up for social pay, one of the things you may or may not know is that social pay, while being a payment processor that claims to be fully integratable with WordPress, it is not via a plugin, right? So if you are familiar at all with WordPress websites, most of the integrations with that type of website builder is through plugins. Now, does that mean that social pay cannot be integrated? Of course not, but it is not in that sense. Don't go searching for a social pay WordPress plugin that would, integrate with WordPress or even with WooCommerce, which is the most common plugin that people use to make their website into an e-commerce type website where they could sell products directly through there, right? So how social pay works is actually with pay links, which is a link is generated through the social pay platform, and then that link is then just embedded into your website, like for instance behind a button. So you would just design a button, place that on your website with some amount of copy, and then the link that you would have generated through social pay is what you put behind that button. So when somebody clicks it, they are taken to the page generated by social pay where they will process the payment, and then that's basically it, right? So this feature that I use for social pay specifically is to set up one-on-one coaching calls via Zoom through my website, right? And this was the number one reason why I also chose to set up a social pay account, because if it is I try to do it with something else that I would have signed up for example VPay, I would have had to pay for more expensive software within WooCommerce itself to set up bookings that way, and I just wanted something that wouldn't be too complicated, and so I went with social pay instead of like trying to go with another booking platform, and then they aren't integrated with the other payment processors that work down here, and so it would have just been a whole bunch of runaround that I didn't want to deal with, right? So this is one way that you can integrate social pay into your website. There is another way, which is for another video if it is you want to see that. Slightly different, but the same thing. It's just not generating coaching calls, but like if you want to add products and services to your website, it would be a slightly different process. So if it is you want me to do a video on that, I can. Just let me know in the comment section down below. Alright, so the first thing you're going to do is sign into your social pay account, and you should be taken to your dashboard where you will see several tabs. You're going to click on the manage tab, then that's going to show you a drop down list, and you're going to click on select bookings, and that's going to take you to another page. Here you're going to see two things: integrate Zoom and test Zoom integration. You're going to click on the integrate Zoom first. That's going to take you to another page which shows you a video on how to go into Zoom and create your developer API keys that you would need to then bring back to the social pay platform so that you can be integrated via your personal Zoom account to then be able to use the Zoom integration feature that social pay is providing for you. Okay, so Basically, I was going to just screen record their video, but it wasn't letting me. So I just, as usual, took screenshots of me doing it myself. So all in all, it's very simple. You have to get 3 pieces of information: your Zoom API key, your Zoom secret key, and then your Zoom login email address. After 2020, I assume that everyone has a Zoom account. If you don't, sign up for one. Okay, and the email address that you use to sign up for your Zoom account, that is your Zoom login email address. So you should have this already off the bat, right? So you have 1 piece of information down already. Let's get to the other 2. So you're not going to the actual Zoom website, you're going to go to the Zoom marketplace. Just Google it, the Zoom app marketplace, and it should come up. Now it will prompt you to log in. Please do, right? So you log in with your email address and password that you would have created, and you're going to be taken to the home screen now that you're logged in, and you can go and select from the top menu, and then when the drop down menu comes up, you're going to select bill app. Now you should be prompted to agree to your terms and conditions at some point. You click agree, because technically you're about to bill an app using the Zoom API. So now that sounds kind of technical, but no, not really, right? According to Social Pay, you're going to select the JWT option, right, in terms of what type of app you would be developing, and then you click create. When you reach to this screen, now you're going to put in a name for your app, and then the app information, which is like the description of the app, the company name, developer contact information. So this should be your name and a company email. So this is where you should put in like your professional email address, and I have made a video on this already. If you don't know how to get one, I will link it right in the description down below. So once you put in all that information, you're going to click continue. This is going to take you to another page where you will get your app credentials. So this is where you will see your Zoom API key and your Zoom secret key. These are the other 2 pieces of information that you need to copy and paste into the Social Pay platform on the Zoom integration page, right? So once you copy and paste those 2 things into there, then your Zoom account will now be connected to Social Pay, and then it can now function where it is using your Zoom account, so that everything would be linked to your account specifically when people are booking calls with you through Zoom. Right, so before you exit out of Zoom, you make sure you click continue. It will take you to another page where you have a secret token and a verification token, and then you click continue again, and your app is now activated. Now when you go back to the Social Pay platform, you should be able to check and see if your Zoom is integrated. So this is where the test your Zoom integration will come in, and it will show you basically the same 3 key pieces of information that I would have asked you for. That is what will show up, showing you your Zoom API key, your Zoom secret key, and your Zoom login email address. So those are the 3 things that it needs, which means that your Zoom account is now fully integrated with your Social Pay account, and you can now use the booking feature where you can have Zoom calls with your clients and they pay you, and also book based on the calendar days and times that you would have set up in which they can book an appointment with you. Right, so I just said all of that, but how do you actually set up these booking times and days? Well, you have to select on add a form for your booking service, right? And then this will take you to a page where you will now fill in those pertinent details. So you have to put a name for your service, right? You have to put the type of service, if it is virtual or physical. Then you put a cost to your service, and then you put the currency. So social pay deals in TT dollars and US dollars. And then you're going to toggle on create a Zoom meeting. So for me, I'm creating only virtual meetings over Zoom. So I'm selecting virtual and I'm selecting create a Zoom room, and this will now open up the calendar days and times that you could set so that people can only select within those time periods and within those days. So one thing to note, that the duration of these calls can only be either half an hour or an hour. So for me, I provide 1 hour at a time, and they also have a caution that if it is you are providing 1 hour, then you need to put your time slots as at the hour and not at half an hour. So you can't have, like, say your meeting starting at 5:30 to 6:30. I believe they're probably not coded for it to work that way, so you need to have it 5 to 6 or 6 to 7, etc. And the last thing you could put in is a little bit of a description. This is something that you probably would want to tell your potential clients or customers before they book a call with you, and or you could leave it blank if it is you have done sufficient explanation as to what this call would be for and what they are to expect. So it's up to you. You could put a little description, it will appear at the top of the form, or you could leave it blank, right? And once you have put in all the information, then you click submit, and the booking link will be generated for you. And now this is the link that you can copy and paste and put behind a button on your website. So for me, I place this behind a button called book now, and it's on my about page on my website. I don't have it front and center because right now it's just something that I put in place for people who want to go deeper with me and ask me more questions or give them advice to their particular situation based on the content I create, so that it is a fair exchange of my time and their time, that I'm not being spread too thin with people trying to solicit that same type of one-on-one help from me, like through social media DMs. So that is really why I created it. And it's not something, again, like I have really front and center advertising as a product or service on my website. It's just more like it's more like a thing that I have in the background that I do provide, and it would come and go in seasons, which again is why I'm not really advertising it. And so sometimes you may go on my website page and it may take you to a wait list because I would have closed coaching calls, or it might take you to the form, which means I have them open. But it would really just be when it is I have time available to do that. It's also great because it's a link, which means if I am talking to somebody on social media back and forth in the DMs, I could say, you know what, if you want to book a call to find out more about this, and I just put the link there, and now it's up to them whether or not they want to do that. But I can't be going back and forth with you for like 3 hours in the social media DMs. Like, that's not fair to me or fair to you, right? So the one thing I do want to say is that this booking form, it doesn't have any type of customization, so it looks nothing like my branding or anything like what my website would look like. It's obviously just dropped there in the middle of nowhere, and it could look better. I don't want to say I hate it, but I don't like it, not really, but I don't love it. You know what I mean? So just as one thing to keep in mind. But honestly, this is the best way that I have found so far to be able to actually book something, do that whole booking process really, a bit more automated and streamlined, where the I don't have to like email you or DM you back and forth. Okay, what's a good time for you? What's a good day for you? You could just go in and say, okay, this is when I'm available. Okay, let me see when I'm available. Click, pay, process, and done, right? So it's much more efficient. It may not look as pretty as I want it to look, but it's way more efficient. But again, there are always new things popping up, and there are probably prettier ways to do the same thing. If anybody knows about them, also leave that in the comment section below. I would love to, you know, look into it and see what else is out there, and continue to provide you with all these things that I am learning about growing an online business in Trinidad and Tobago. So if you guys want to book a call with me, I'll leave the link to my about page on my website, where if you scroll down you will see the book a 1-hour Zoom call. It is $99 an hour. If you're interested, check out the link below. I'll see you in my next video.